every day of the finest ingredients in health. Now I have a swell surprise. Now. Made fresh every day.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy KCVL, King Set for Life. Here to give you my honest review about last night's Hard to Kill. Pay-per-view, for what it was okay. Everybody really was turning in for the main event. And honestly believe the main event won the show, but I'll get to that. I'll talk about it. But let's go ahead and dissect exactly what went down. So here's the match card. So that's the main event up top. You had the Women's Knockout Championship, Tyra Valkyrie versus the Deonna Purrazzo Knockouts Tag Team Championship, Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan versus Nevaeh and Havoc. Three-way X Division Championship, Manic, Chris Bay, Rahul Rajay. Barbed Wire Massacre, Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan, Old School Rules, Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, Cousin Jake versus Eric Young, Joe Deary, and Diener. Karate Man versus Ethan Page. Crazy Steve and Rosemary versus Caleb and Tennille Dashwood. And then on the opener, on the pre-show, you had Josh Alexander versus Brian Myers. Now, we missed the pre-show match, so I can't really dissect that match, so I'm just going to read the result. Brian Myers wins. So on to where we came in. We opened up the show. Now this was, I call this a clown match because obviously these two are court jesters. Now they don't move like court jesters, but that's basically what they are. I call it a clown match for a reason. The match itself, it was to me, I think what the match was there to be on the card because obviously they've all had beef. Now, I haven't been watching Impact, so I really haven't been following along with the storyline. But obviously this is what they had their match for. Crazy Steve and Rosemary get the victory. So we move on. Oh yeah, Josh Matthews and Madison Ray, this was their final day, so neither one of them was on commentary. We had Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown on commentary. So, next match, Old School Rules match. Pretty much an ECW type of match. But minus Cody Deaner and Jake. And it was pretty much, like I said, the ECW type of match. Eric Young's crew, which is, they call themselves Violent by Design. And they went against Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, and Cousin Jake. This match was just a bunch of old school cats beating up a bunch of old school cats. Really didn't do too much for me. I do like Eric Young's. This just shows me Eric Young should have never left to go to WWE. He should have just stayed in Impact. But Violent by Design get the victory. So move on to the next match. Now, obviously, this was the two final teams to meet because they was representing the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz, Havoc, and Nevaeh. This was a decent match. Did the right team win? Let me tell y'all something. They was pumping a whole lot of fan noise in here, and the fan noise was booing both teams. So I thought Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan were the heels, but Havoc and Nevaeh was getting booed like they was heels. So I didn't know who was which. And like I said, they actually went on and they let, I call them the Ratchet Girls because that's basically what they are. It's a ratchet gimmick. Like I said, y'all, we dominate the mid card. It's no question we won that. Congratulations to the girl. They had Gail Kim and Madison Rain present the titles to the young ladies. Kudos to them. So next we get Ace Austin. Now he just comes out just randomly talking some bull crap, and I guess he won that cup back at Genesis, which was last weekend. Walks out there, says that he should automatically be the #1 contender for the X Division Championship, and that he don't matter, he need to challenge somebody. Well, who comes out the woodwork? You just seen the picture. Now, ain't Matt Cardone supposed to be a part of AEW? Yeah, he is, but he's on a part-time deal where he only wrestles, I think, a total of 5 matches. So I think he did 2, so he got a total of 3 more to go. So at the end of the day, he could pop up anywhere he wants. So the fact that he showed up on Impact, now that helps give Impact a boost. They match was really a match because Ace Austin's big man, Madman Fulton, basically cost them the match. So the man won by disqualification. So you really didn't get too much. We just got a huge pop by this man showing up. That's great and all, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, we really didn't get no match. So maybe they saving it for the next time. Maybe they might be saving it for Impact. I don't know. Now we get a triple threat. Now this triple threat was decent. It's a pretty decent triple threat. But I think the wrong man won. We Chris Bay, Manic, and Raju. Fellas did what they had to do. Now everybody know that Manic is TJP. Now, outside of wrestling, everybody can't stand TJP. TJP has done a lot of crazy things outside he used to be about in the WWE, but he's in Impact now. He's done some crazy stuff outside of wrestling. He opens his mouth on Twitter and says some things that he shouldn't be saying, and everybody that canceled him like 1,000,000 times. I honestly believe Chris Bay should have won this match, but you know how the game goes. The man just won the title, so you know they're not finna play flip-flop. It is what it is, man. I can't say too much. Like I said, Rajay did good. TJP, aka Manic, did all right. Chris Bay, listen, the ultimate finesse, which the ultimate finesse is gonna bring everything to the table. That's the one thing I like about this young man. He's gonna bring everything to the table. And unfortunately, my man's came up short. And Manic is still your X Division champion. Now we get to the Women's Knockout Championship. Taya Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo. The ladies, they did okay for what they was able to do. I understand why they still got the championship on Deonna. We all know the main reason why Deonna still Impact Women's Champion is because of what happened with Miss Kylie Ray. I guarantee you that if Kylie Ray was still on the show, Kylie Ray would be champion right now. Honestly, I believe she will. But the fact that she just, her anxiety's got the best of her, she's not wrestling no more. So Deonna is carrying the women's division in the Impact. And so we had Taya Valkyrie. She tried everything in her power. Deonna had her crew out there. Well, I forgot the young lady that's in her corner. And now Sue Young has got a new gimmick now, where she's some kind of lawyer girl. I don't know what they're doing with Sue Young, man. I don't know. She's supposed to be the female Mick Foley, where Mick Foley had like 50,000 personas, Taya, she had Rosemary and the other clown boy, Crazy Steve, in her corner, but it was just too much crazy stuff going on, so the referee kicked them out. So they basically let the ladies do what they do. Deanna got this weird submission move where she looked like she folds the whoever she's in the ring with, she folds her opponent's arms back, and she looked like she finna break their arms because their shoulder blades is up, and it looks very painful. I don't know how, like, it looked messed up, and I knew Tyra wasn't gonna win, and a lot of people believe this is Tyra's final match in Impact. I don't know. I just hope she don't go to WWE. I know that's what her husband is. For y'all who don't know, she's married to Johnny Morrison. Um, I don't know if she should. That would be the best business decision. But I hopefully, like I said, she can stay around in Impact, or she can come join AEW. But I just don't want her going to join Vince and them, because Vince gonna take her business and try to make money off of it, and basically turn her into a slave like her husband is. I don't want that. So we move on. Now this match right here was just straight silly. This was the goofiest match on the whole show. This wasn't even a match. This was taped, and it looked very goofy. I was like, first of all, why the clown is this fool going against himself? I didn't understand that for the life of me. I was like, why is he facing himself? What is the whole point of this? Like, the match, you talking about green screen heavy. They was all kind of stupid, just dumb. I was like, what? And apparently this fool on his way out of Impact is weird. So the fact that they literally had him kill himself, which is silly. He killed himself. I say he literally ripped his heart out, like some kind of Mortal Kombat fight. I say, man, this is just straight stupid. It was just silly. I don't even imagine, man. Ripped his heart out, so Ethan Page is technically no more because the Karate Man is alive and well. You know, that's all I can say about that, man. So next, barbed wire massacre. Now, one thing I do know about this feud, these two are homies. And anytime when homies or homies have a feud and they can't settle it because each of them has got one up on the other one and they did everything in their power and they just don't want to, the other person just doesn't want to go down, you have one of those gimmick matches that's supposed to be the it factor of this is the end of the beef. Whatever happens, happens. Can I be real with y'all? The match was okay. I feel like the unsanctioned match between John Moxley and Kenny Omega was a lot better than this. I mean, yes, the cats was busting each other open with barbed wire and all that crazy stuff, but you don't have to. Wow, like you see gimmick matches like these over and over again, it kind of get played out. You know what I'm saying? If it's done right, the match is going to be great. But it's the fact that you've seen it, and it's not just Impact. It's AEW, it's WWE, it's any type of wrestling promotion. When you see these, I got to beat the snot out of you, and I would do anything I can to get over on you. And you got to use all these weird weapons and all this crazy stuff. It's like, okay, if I seen one, I done seen them all. That's kind of how I feel about this match. Yeah, the fellas did what they had to do. I mean, the fellas tore each other up. I mean, this is a barbed wire massacre match. They really did massacre each other. But I knew exactly who was winning. Eddie Edwards was definitely going over because it only made perfect sense. Every time that man was involved with this man, he was always losing all the time. Every time. And finally, he put his homeboy over. So obviously, I believe this is over. I think this is it. They move on to other storylines now. So, okay, folks, here we go. The main event. Now, first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about what the clown happened to Alex Shelley. I don't know what the heck happened to Alex Shelley. I don't know if the fool had COVID. I don't know if he was injured. I don't know. I found out like Wednesday or Thursday that he was being replaced, and all people he's been replaced by Moose. I'm like, why they put Moose in there? Let me tell y'all something. The standout of this match was Moose. Now, I wasn't the biggest Moose fan, but y'all already know how it is. When it comes to my people, I definitely root for the black talent heavy. And Impact gives me that the go ahead to root for my talent because they're going to present them in a decent light. You're not going to catch them with no shucking and jiving type of gimmicks like how you do every time when you watch WWE. And you know what? Now, don't get me wrong. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan, yes, those are stereotypes all day of ratchet black women. That's what that is. But but the fact that we was represented in the main event scene, that's what I give Impact props for. And this match right here, you know what you're going to get from Kenny Omega. You know what you're going to get from the Good Brothers. I just wanted to see how Rick Swann, Moose, and you know what you're going to get from Chris Sabin. I just wanted to see how these two was going to match with, as of right now, the man right now. Kenny Omega is the man right now. And I knew Kenny Omega wouldn't lose. I knew well, here's the deal. I actually thought they had a shot of losing, and the only reason I had thought they would lose is because I thought somebody from AEW was going to show up and cost them. The fact that nobody showed up, I feel like that was like a heavy loss on their end. And so, and I also was thinking this. You got your company champion and you got AEW's company champion. What's the best way to protect both men? By having one of the other members of the match, of the team, get pinned. So I was thinking maybe one of the Good Brothers was going to get pinned by Rick Swann, or Kenny Omega was going to pin either Moose, or he was going to pin Chris Sabin. I think that would have been the better outcome. That's just my personal opinion. Because the fact that we had Kenny Omega pin Rick Swann, that tells me Rick Swann is not, and I repeat, he will not have the championship when Kenny Omega takes that title and adds it to his collection. I'm telling you, it makes no sense. Why the clown would you have that man losing him twice? That tells me that you basically treat your champion like he's a straight punk. And I didn't like that. I'm serious. I did not like that. I would have preferred Chris Sabin or even Moose. Because, like I said, for me, Moose was the standout. I've seen Moose wrestle before, but in this match, he was the standout out of everybody. And the fact that, like I said, being in the ring with Kenny Omega, you know Kenny gonna do everything in his power to make you look good. Moose was out there dealing and feeling and going in. He was out there killing. I said, go ahead, man. And I was like, man, that literally like, yo, it made you think like, man, maybe they actually got a shot. But came up short. Kenny Omega done won. This just makes me think Rick Swann's title run is coming to a close because they announced that it's a new pay-per-view that's coming, and that won't be for the next 3 months. That's happening on April 23rd, I believe. It's called Rebellion. Now, the actual picture has Kenny Omega's star in the logo of the picture. So that tells me Kenny Omega will be at that pay-per-view. Now, here's the question. Will Rick Swann still have the Impact Championship? I don't believe so. Because the fact that you had that man pin him makes absolutely no sense for him to pin him again. It's like, why? Like, we knew that, listen, I knew that Kenny Omega, we know Kenny Omega's going to win the Impact Championship. We know that. We already know. Like, don't be stupid. He's going to win the Impact Championship. I'm calling him Kenny Thanos for a reason. I just would have preferred him to pin somebody else. That's my biggest gripe about the situation. Overall, this was the best match on the show. Everybody did great. Luke Gallows did great. Carl Anderson did great. Don, with his trifling behind, he did great. Like I said. So, what's my final grade for this show? I'm going to stay at, I was on borderline 7. Borderline 7, but with everything all wrapped up, with how I felt about dang near every match on the show, I'm going to stay at a 6. I'm going to give this episode of this pay-per-view a 6. Felt like it could have been a whole lot better with everything that was transpiring. But like I said, Kenny Omega did what he had to do. Like I said, it is what it is. Don't know who's going to be champion when he ends up taking that title. I don't believe it's going to be Rick Swann, because why the clown would you have that man pin him right now and then he end up pinning him again? Makes no sense to me, because that's burying your champion. That's making it look like your champion is a complete joke, and we already know the name of the game. Like, don't even get me started. Right, you get me started going on something on a certain rant, I'll go on that certain rant, but I'm not finna do that. Like I said, because the fact that they decided to even put the title on us in the first place, that is what it is. That's saying something. But I personally feel you could have protected your champion if Chris Sabin or Moose would have took the pinfall. That would have been a little bit better. I would have been like, okay, at least Rick Swann was protected. Don't feel like Rick Swann was protected right there. I feel like Rick Swann, the whole company champion, got buried. That's me. So anybody who got a completely disagreement with me, tell me in the comment section. If you thought this pay-per-view was off the chain, great. Tell me if you liked it. If not, tell me where you didn't like it. If you're in agreement with me that you feel like Rick Swann got buried and felt like they could have actually had Chris Sabin or Moose get pinned, and you in agreement with me, tell me why. This your boy KCFL King Cell for life. I'm gone.